Well, hello friends, and welcome back to the cabin. I hope that each and every one of you had a great Memorial weekend. This is a pretty sad week here at the Homestead, and I'll tell you why in just a minute. So when you're seeing this, things would have already taken place. So let me go over here and sit down, and I'll tell you what it's all about. Jennifer had to lay one of her dogs to rest. She had two little pups. One was a Yorkie Poo, was blonde, named Bentley, and then the other named Gracie, the red and kind of grayish color, long hair Yorkie. She developed just all of a sudden too, like just a couple of weeks ago, she developed a kidney problem that is non-repairable, and she wouldn't eat, wouldn't hardly function, so Jennifer went ahead and made the decision to go ahead and put her to rest. That way, you know, we don't have to watch her suffer through the things that she was going through. But very sad moment, especially when you had two dogs. I think the Bentley is right at 15 years old now, and Gracie, I think, is maybe just a little bit younger than Bentley, so she might be 14. But I mean, up until a couple of weeks ago, she was just full of energy. And then all of a sudden, just something changed. You know, it's a reminder that nothing in life is certain, friends, because things can change just like that overnight. And not only with animals, but with us as well. So yeah, it's very sad that Jennifer had to put her down, but you know, like I say, in order not to see the suffering going on, we figured that that was the most humane thing to do. So that's a little bit of bad news to bring to you, but the thing that will make her happy is to go and find a new puppy to be able to spend time with out here and have a great time and have a new member of the family. So friends, I wanted to take just a few minutes and talk a little bit more about this tool that I made right here for the Homestead. And I'll tell you what, I have made a lot of things up here. The more often that I use this, I'm thinking to myself, this is probably one of the best things that I ever made. And this was a little DIY, just an idea that I thought up one day. I needed to haul some material that was longer than what the truck is made for, and then I needed a way to haul my canoe. So I got to talking with my neighbor. I said, hey, if I buy some material, can you help me build something? And he said, sure. And I'll leave a link up here in the top right hand corner where you can go and check that out, because this was a really fun build. I'm just going to use my trailer hitch right here. So this is how the end of that thing works. It just slides up into your receiver right there where the hole lines up. And then you just take your pin and slide it in. So by the end of the video, if you don't have one of these and you want to do something really simple on a weekend, because it doesn't take long, and if you know someone that has a welder, just go buy, I think it was an 8-foot stick of, it's 1/4 inch thick, 2-inch square tubing. All right, and I had enough material to come out away from the truck and be able to haul 16-foot material and 20 very easily. So for those inquisitive minds that want to know, because I honestly thought, you know, I'll probably get a comment about this, but we made it, if I can get my tape on there, 54 inches long. Now, of course, you've got 4 inches of that that's going up inside the receiver on your vehicle, so that would make it 50 inches basically sticking out of your truck. And then of course the tailgate is coming to about right here, but we want the weight riding on this and not the tailgate, right? So yeah, we made that 54 inches long. Then we've got a piece of 12-inch tubing in between from right here to right there, just welded on each end. And then this is probably what we had left over, because it is 40 inches long. So, you know, like I said, I think just an 8-foot piece is what I bought to fix this. Now, like I said, this is a 1/4 inch because I wanted it heavy duty, and it's 2-inch tubing. So I added a 2x4 on the top. I've got a bolt here and a bolt there to hold it on, and then I glued a piece of outdoor carpet That way it wouldn't scratch the canoe or any of the other types of material that I may be hauling. So the height of this right here, plus this piece, plus the 2x4 and the carpet makes it the same level as the tailgate, which, like I said, we want the weight resting primarily on this and not the tailgate. And how does it work? It works fantastic, because I have pulled out of the lumber yard and other areas doing things, and people look, and I'm thinking to myself, they're probably thinking, you know what, I should make one of those. So this is a really easy DIY on a weekend with just a simple piece of tubing. Cut it in 3 different pieces, and if you've got a friend that can weld it, and then you have to drill you a hole down there, and of course mount 2 up here, mount you 2 before, and glue you a piece of carpet. But then you've got a way that you can turn your vehicle into a hauling machine that it was never meant to be. Of course, you got to be careful on the weight that we put on there, right? Because as we add more weight to the back, we lift up the front end. So we got to be careful with our equipment, but this is probably the best specialty item that I made. Besides doing something like this, this right here is an adze that, you know, we had to fashion a new handle in, and I'll leave a link up here again in the top right hand corner where we did that. That was a lot of fun. But I used this to build the timber frame workshop down there, and I was able to do this. Fashion out material with this kind of a look. All with this tool right here, because that's actually what it's made for. Now I could take the bark off the tree, but primarily I use it on wood like this, where I'm trying to cup it out to make it look like it was hand hewn. Of course, this is hewing. It's just not, you know, like cutting out a square log. You're just doing a surface to get that type of antique look. So this is the tool that you would use right here. It's called an adze. But having specialty items like that affords me to be able to do a lot of different things. So a lot of this hand stuff, like I've got these tools and things like that, you know, they require some manual effort, but I'll tell you what, they really turn out really nice looking material. This allows me to be able to haul things that I wouldn't normally be able to haul, you know, unless I hook my trailer up, which is kind of awkward. Especially I've got the 18-foot trailer, you know, and it's wider than my truck, and we've got narrow roads, so that makes it a little bit unsafe to just, you know, go running the roads with it, right? But this I can actually throw up in the bed of the truck, all right, and not even pull it out until I get there. So once I've purchased my material, I just go out, get my truck, pull it into the dock right there, open the tailgate, slide this in, load my material on, and I'm gone. And the sides right here, I just put the end of my hook right here for my strap and go around to the other side, and it holds really good. Now that's just plain old hillbilly engineering, but I tell you what, friends, if I didn't have this right here, I would have had to hook up my trailer to go get that big long tile. And like I said, it's just cumbersome to be able to do that, when if I'd have had something like this, like I said, just throw it up in the back of the truck, go get it and bring it home. But this is probably one of the best tools that I was able to think up in my little small mind, and it has allowed me to do such tremendous things up here at the homestead. Lazy days here on the homestead, right? They're taking one of their so-called siestas, and no, we haven't been down to the bottom of the hill, and I'm not going to say anything in fear that they might raise their heads up, but I don't want them out too much, especially if it's rained all night like it did last night. That way they get their feet muddy and it's just a mess to try to clean up. Now we know that Memorial Weekend has already passed, but we certainly hope that each and every one of you all had a great holiday weekend. I tell you, it's a time that we need to stop and reflect on where we are today and how we got here. And Memorial Day is a great reminder of that, because we wouldn't be here today if it hadn't have been for a lot of our fallen heroes. And that's each and every one of them. We wouldn't have the liberties and the freedoms that we enjoy today, even though a lot of them are being argued about. But friends, we wouldn't have a word if it wasn't for our heroes and our veterans. So I salute you all, and I thank you very much for your service. I never had to serve myself, although, you know, I did serve in civilian life as a paramedic, which made me feel like I was on the front lines a lot of times, along with the police and firefighters, which, you know, a lot of those folks, they don't get, you know, a lot of recognition for the things that they do. So we wouldn't be where we're at today if it wasn't for those great men and women who served in our military and served unconditionally too. So our hats are off to you. Thank you so much for your service. We greatly appreciate it, and we wouldn't be where we're at today without it. Well, I've got to get down here at the workshop and get busy, because guess what? My son called and said he's flying in tomorrow. So we're going to have to get ready for him, because he may be here a week or a little bit longer. So we're going to get quite a bit done again, hopefully. Anyway, friends, thanks so much for stopping by. We certainly do appreciate it, and we look forward to seeing you back up here at the cabin again next time.